Hey folks, welcome back to Algebra 2. Today we're going to continue with complex numbers and talk about how to solve quadratic equations which give complex solutions. Now it's important to remember that these are really similar to regular quadratics, so you might be thinking easy peasy lemon squeezy, but you have to remember to split up your final answer into a plus bi form. There has to be one part, that's a, it's called the real part, the plus or minus, and then a second part that's bi, which is the complex part. Let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean. So remember, when we're working with quadratic equations, the discriminant tells us if we have a complex root, and the discriminant's the b squared minus 4ac. We're going to solve this one out using the quadratic formula, and the discriminant's going to tell us if we have a complex root. So if I set this up, I'm going to get negative 4 plus or minus the square root, negative 4 squared minus 4, 1 times 5, all over 2 times 1, and x equals. So again, notice these two things, I keep both negatives in there. Let's clean this up a bit and just see what's going on with it. 4 plus or minus, that's going to be 16, minus 20 over 2. Already looking a lot more manageable. Now, this tells me that I have negative 4 as my discriminant. Remember, whatever is underneath the radical is my discriminant. That's going to tell me that I have a complex root here because it's less than 0. And we know how to deal with these things. So I know that this is just x is equal to 4 plus or minus 2i over 2. Now, we want to write this in a plus bi form. Right now, this is not an a plus bi form. The reason being is this 2. Because that 2 is the denominator for everything, it's not a plus bi form. It's a little tiny simplification, but I'm just going to split this up. And then I can easily simplify both of these. So I'm going to have x is equal to 2 plus I, plus or minus I. And that would be my answer, 2 plus or minus I. Now, how do we go about putting that into our delta math? Well, this one is easy. You don't have a radical, so I'm just going to do 2, hit this little button, and type in I. It'll count I as your imaginary unit. Submit. Yeah, I'm totally sure. Boom, done. Good to go. So we got another one. We're going to set it up the same way. It's already in standard form, so we're good to go. So that's just going to be x equals negative 6 plus or minus the square root, 6 squared minus 4, 9 times 2, all over 2 times 9. Just like the early one, and whenever you deal with the quadratic formula, it helps just split it up. If you want, you can just take what's underneath this radical and plug it into a calculator. I don't need to see the individual steps. If you can, you got the algebra 2 by being able to do this stuff. So plug it into a calculator, you're going to get negative 36 over 18. Okay, negative 6 plus or minus 6i over 18. And we can simplify this to just be, let's split it up. So that's going to be negative 6 over 18 plus or minus 6i over 18. So it's going to be negative a third plus 1/3 I. You have some options here. You can put this I next to the 1/3. You can put it in the numerator. Your call. Last one we're going to do today, we're asked to find the roots of this equation. It's important to note that this equation is not in standard form. So our first step isn't going to be to plug into the quadratic formula. My first step is going to be to convert this to standard form. I'm going to subtract the 24x. I'm going to add the 39 to both sides. Now it's in standard form, it equals 0. Just going to plug into the quadratic formula now, same as before. Little thing to watch out for, this has minus negative 24. So just watch out for that. It's real easy to accidentally forget one of the subtraction signs or minus signs there and make a mistake. You might also be put off by this by saying, that is a really weird discriminant. I mean, that's a big number. Plug it into a calculator. Use your phone to just do that. So I can do 24 times 24 minus 4 times 4 times 39. That's going to equal negative 48 over 8. Now, we got a lot going on here. This isn't a perfect square like the other ones were, so we need to simplify it. So that's going to be 16 times 3. Just double check. So that's going to be equal to 24 plus or minus square root of negative 16 times the square root of 3 over 8. But we got this. We've been doing this stuff a while. So that's going to be plus or minus 4i square root of 3 over 8. Okay. Split it up and simplify it. So it's going to be 24 over 8 plus or minus 4i radical 3 over 8. And last step, simplify. 24 divided by 8 is 3, plus or minus I radical 3 over 2. That's what you would plug into delta math. And to just show how to plug it into delta math, here we go. 3 plus or minus. You can put a slash for a fraction. I, here's the square root symbol there, 3 over 2. We're good to go. You've seen 3 examples. Now it's just time to do the delta math. Use the remainder of this class period and complete at least one of those delta math settings. You got 3. So 1 is level 1, 1 is level 2, 1 is level 3. After that, complete the summary. That's just going to be in a Google form. And then do a reading survey for the next one. Go for it, folks. You got this. I'll talk at you soon.